Fist, Luke Cage. So we'll talk about them on another video. Today we're going to do Phase 1, Part 1. So it's the first 3 movies of Phase 1 of the Avengers series. So far, me and my daughter have watched Captain America the First Avenger, Captain Marvel, and last night we watched Iron Man, the first one. These won't really be reviews, it'll be like little rambles and my thoughts on each movie. I don't think there'll really be spoilers because these films have been out for a lot of years. Likely is that you've seen them. So Captain America the First Avenger. My least favourite Avenger, but a rather good film all the same. So as we know, the movie starts off with like a Arctic expedition or something or other, or something like that. They find Hugo Weaving, who's like a one of the Hitler's right hand men, and he's searching for the Tesseract, I think it is, at the beginning of the movie, and he wants to use it to harness its power. That is when we're first introduced to the Tesseract, from what I remember. And he has this mad scientist, Toby Jones, who's played by Toby Jones, working for him. Chris Evans, who's obviously Captain America, isn't Captain America yet. He's some skin. I think he looks pretty ridiculous. Obviously he's meant to look weak, but his head is massive compared to his body at the beginning of the movie. Like, his head's really big, body's really tiny, and then when they blow him up like the Incredible Hulk, his head's too small for his body. It's really weird. It'd be like Mark Wahlberg when he bulked up for Pain and Gain. His head was way too small for his body. Whereas The Rock has a good proportioned head to his body, if you know what I mean anyway. So Chris Evans is wanting to join the army, and he's been bullied and stuff, and he's been told he can't join the army because of health issues. And then he meets, what's his name, Stanley Tucci, who is a doctor, who says, look, I can do an experiment on you. If it works, then you'll be like the go-to man for the army. So they do this, and it works out to an extent. He becomes Captain America, he becomes massive. His mate when he's younger is played by Sebastian Stan, who is James Bucky. And what was he called? James Bucky. Bucky's his middle name, ain't it, in the role. I'm just trying to find out what he's... Bucky Barnes, so James Barnes, or Bucky for short, that's his middle name. And he becomes the Winter Soldier later on. And as part of the series, the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think it's called, or the other way around. So Johann Schmidt is the angry Nazi wanting to destroy the world, and he messes around with his Tesseract and messes himself up and becomes Red Mask. Or he's already done something before he finds a Tesseract, one or the other, and he ends up with a red face, basically. And he's the bad guy, and this is called Red Mask. We're also introduced to Howard Stark in early on in the film, who is a scientist. He's Tony Stark's dad, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, and he's played by Dominic Cooper, and he plays a fairly big part in this. He's part of the experiment which makes Captain America basically. So Cap goes on this media tour, and he's like the face of America. He's doing all these films and adverts and stuff, but he's not actually defending America. He's just there to boost morale Mask. I said he's trying defeating Red Mask, and there's a bit where Cap at the end, I think he's in a plane or something like that, and he's got the Tesseract on. I think he says something along the lines of, the only way to make the world safe is to get rid of the Tesseract, or something like that. So he goes down into the sea with the Tesseract, and we're led to believe he's dead. But spoiler, we find out at the end that he's been took out the sea, the wreckage, put on ice, and bear in mind he was in the 1940s. The film was set. He wakes up in like 2000 and odd, something or other like that, and walks out into like New Times Square. It's like, what the hell? And then Nick Fury, played by Samuel Jackson, turns up and says, "Captain, you've been asleep a long time. We've got a job for you." And yeah, it's good. Unlike Captain America, it sets the scene. It wasn't the first Avenger film out, as we know. That was Iron Man. You can't really include the earlier Incredible Hulk films, so it was Iron Man. But Captain America, where okay, he's the sensible one, and at times very boring, but it's a good story. And during the film, he gets with a army lady called Peggy Carter, played by Hayley Atwell. She becomes Agent Carter, who is in the TV show Agent Carter. His mate Bucky is captured by the Germans and experimented on, and at one point we think he's dead, and I think we're left to think he's dead until we find out in the second one that he's not dead. We won't spoil that for you. The second movie, Captain Marvel. So I was excited to see this, believe it or not, because this was one of the Avenger films that had been out before the last couple of years that I had not seen. I've seen all, like, apart from the ones I mentioned, I've seen all the earlier ones, give or take. I think I've seen them all. But I'd not seen Captain Marvel, which came out in 2019. And me and my daughter watched that last Thursday, I think it was. And I was surprisingly, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good movie. The beginning confused me a little bit, but then I was like, oh okay, I get it now. I figured out what's going on. So let's bring up the details. Captain Marvel is played by Brie Larson, and she plays Carol Danvers, and she becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. So if you've not seen, I think she turns up before this movie in one of the Avengers films. She just randomly turns up. I'm sure she does. And I'm like, who's that? Oh, then they did Captain Marvel, where they did like a backstory for her. But yeah, it's hard to describe this one. You really need to watch it. So she plays a former Navy pilot, I think she was, who crashes and loses her memory, and then the next thing you know, she's on like an alien planet, and she has to like save something or other. It's really confusing to explain, and she gets having these flashbacks to memories she had when she was younger, and then she ends up on Earth, like she crashes on Earth. These aliens come to Earth, and it turns out the person she thought was her like instructor or tutor, etc. That person, played by Jude Law, is actually a bad guy, and he's been tricking her all along. And the one she was led to believe was the bad person, Ben Mendelsohn, who's a great Australian actor. Love the bloke from his days on Animal Kingdom. Brilliant. In the first series, I think that he was in. Let me get that right. I got that wrong. There was an Animal Kingdom series, but there was also a movie, Animal Kingdom. I think he was in the movie. I don't think he was in. He wasn't in the series, my bad. He was in the series though of flipping heck. What's it called? Let me look. This series was brilliant. I watched every episode. Let me tell you what it's called. So he was in Animal Kingdom, the movie. He was also in, what's it called? They're hiding it here. I watched all Bloodline. There you go. That was brilliant. He was also in Star Wars in Rogue One. I will be talking about Star Wars in these reviews at some point soon, because I watched my first ever Star Wars movie all the way through 2 days ago. It's like, wow, it's amazing. So yeah, Ben Mendelsohn is we're led to believe he's the bad guy. It turns out he's not. Spoiler there. Jude Law's actually the bad guy. Annette Bening is in this, famous from American Beauty days, and quite a few other things. Yeah, and she is the lead pilot when Brie Larson's plane crashes back in like '96. And then I don't want to spoil anything more, plus I can't remember it all. But overall thoughts on Captain Marvel: it's a very good film. It gives the backstory of Captain Marvel very well. We find out, that's what I liked, because Nick Fury's in this all the way through. He's like the first Avengers film I've seen him being like a big part in. I suppose it's popping up here and there. And Nick Fury, we find out how he loses his eye. I won't spoil it for you, but we see how he loses his eye and ends up with the eye patch. And we see how he comes up with the Avengers Initiative. So Captain Marvel is before Captain America. So let's follow this on here. Captain America was set in the 40s. He's then frozen when he goes into the sea. The dredge him out, he's frozen for like 60, 70 years. He isn't unfrozen until after Captain Marvel has been recruited by Nick Fury. So Nick Fury finds Captain Marvel, they work together, they help each other. He realises that with her and others like her, they could, do a lot of good. So Captain Marvel is the original Avenger. Captain America is then recruited, and then we go on from there. But in terms of the timeline, like years, it's Captain America first because it's set in the 40s, then Captain Marvel. But in terms of storyline, Captain Marvel is the first ever Avenger, then Captain America, and then we go on, like I said. So the third movie we watched last night was Iron Man. He's a tough one, isn't he, Iron Man? He's a tough one to like. Like every line that he comes out with, you just cringe at. Oh, for God's sake! On his solo movies, anyway. I know it's all part of the character, the ego, the cockiness, the rich man attitude, all that stuff. But he's so freaking annoying, and he really grates on me. Obviously, we find out how Tony Stark becomes Iron Man. He is selling weapons in off of that way. I don't want to say Afghanistan, but somewhere like that. Over in the east, is that? I think he's selling weapons to like armies and stuff, and then he's attacked, and they take him hostage, and then he, well, not really a hostage. They want to make weapons for them. He's selling weapons to somebody, and then these terrorists take him hostage and say, "Make us your weapons for free." He makes like the Iron Man suit, the original one, manages to escape. Gets back to America, where Pepper Potts is played by Gwyneth Paltrow. He's the director of the movie. Jon Favreau is his like chauffeur, stroke friend. We have, what's his name? Is it Jeff Bridges playing his dad's former work colleague? Because his dad's obviously died. Howard Stark has, before this movie comes around. We've got Terrence Howard playing Rudy, who's then took over by Don Cheadle, I believe, in the other films. attack on Tony Stark. He wanted him dead so that Obadiah could take over the business, the Stark Enterprises. Tony has this brainwave to stop selling weapons after he sees what it does to people and how they're being used. So no, we're going to stop dealing in weapons. Obadiah can't have that because that's how they make their money. So the bloke, the lead terrorist, the head of the gang, who took Stark hostage, finds the original Iron Man suit out in the desert, makes his own version. Obadiah goes over to see him, kills him, gets the suit, goes back to America, and wreaks havoc on Iron Man. Iron Man kills him with the Tesseract. I think the Tesseract plays a part. I think the Tesseract not in it. I literally watched it last night and cannot remember if the Tesseract turned up in Iron Man or not. It must have been in there at some point. But yeah, it's in terms of the three movies, I'd say Captain Marvel is my favourite of the first three movies. Iron Man my least favourite. Like I said, I don't like Iron Man until he joins up with the Avengers, and then he can like bounce off Hulk and Captain America and Thor and Black Widow. But on his own, no thank you. And unfortunately I've got two more to go, number 2 and number 3. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Marvel series, and I'll do more of these videos as we go along. So that's Phase 1, Part 1,